38th edition of the Herald Cycle Tour Coastal Classic took place in the Nelson Mandela municipality in the Eastern Cape, where the city of Gqeberha boasts of world-class beaches, beauty and charm in its heritage buildings. It's an ideal setting for a world-class road race.
This means a lot to us as a city, the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro Municipality, because we are a city that prides itself with action. We want to make this city the capital city of sport, and Herald Cycle Tour adds to that as one of the oldest tours in South Africa.
A day before the race, there was feverish activity at the race village on Pollock Beach, with the riders taking part in a spinathon to raise funds for the Smile Foundation.
So the Smile Foundation is one of the charities and beneficiaries of the Herald Cycle Tour, and we've got a spinathon happening here at the registration tent. We've got 50 bikes on every hour where people come and support. We're just having fun, creating awareness and raising funds for the Smile Foundation. The beneficiaries are the children of the Eastern Cape who are in need of plastic and reconstructive surgery. So because of this event, we are able to create more smiles and put forever smiles on children's faces.
Also taking place a day ahead of the road race was a kiddies ride. First, there was the Powerade Toddlers Dash along a 500-metre section of the beachfront promenade. Parents and children did about the same distance. That was followed by the older children riding the 2-kilometre Powerade Kiddies Challenge. An opportunity for these youngsters to get a feel of a race in a safe and secure, not to mention beautiful environment. These are the future Herald Cycle Tour riders who will no doubt watch mum and dad do their thing the following day. For now though, it was the kids' day, and they were all rewarded with medals and a huge cool ice cream on a hot afternoon. Well before sunrise the next morning, the hum of rollers competed with the waves on the beach as riders prepared for the big race. This is the start line of the 38th edition of the Herald Cycle Tour, presented by the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality, right here in Gqeberha. 106 kilometers, 1,100 meters of climbing. The defending men's champion, Tiens van der Bank, and his Realty Dynamics team is here. Haley Preen is the defending champion in the women's field, and we've got thousands more riders doing the 106k and a 55-kilometer race. It's going to be a spectacular day's racing, and we'll see if Nolan Hoffman can win it once again, because he's here as well. It's the vastly experienced sprinter, first won the race in 2006, and the last of his multiple victories came in 2019. The Aluwani team also had 2022 winner Reynard Butler in their lineup. Cape Town-based team Kinetic Pro had plenty of strong men, while late entry saw the powerful TG Pro cycling team also lining up. Tiens van der Bank, last year's winner, was part of a strong Realty Dynamics team up from Cape Town.
Looking at the wind at the moment, I think it's definitely going to play a role in the race, and then I think there will be a bit of a tailwind up the big climb for the day, and then coming in with a cross headwind, so I think it's going to be a hard race at the end.
Sydney, you're looking to double up here?
Yeah, it's a big ask, but yeah, we'll see. There's lots of pro teams here with lots of guys around them, so yeah, maybe I'll just sit as long as I can and maybe upset some people. Yeah, we'll see.
Away they rolled from Pollock Beach. Ahead lay 106 kilometres and around 1,100 metres of climbing on beautifully closed roads. There was an additional prize incentive for those who took on the Herald 80-kilometre mountain bike extreme race a week earlier, with the fastest combined time for the two races, winning the Ultimate Quest title. Sydney Straydon was the man who won in Adda a week ago. But his work would be cut out if he wanted to win here, because he and other solo racers were up against 4 or 5 teams who each had at least 6 riders in their lineups. As they left the ocean behind them, the road tilted upwards. They headed through Southend towards Walmer. The battle lines were drawn early on. Realty Dynamics in the white and orange jerseys, the fluorescent yellow and blue of Kinetic Pro, the white of Action Cycles, the black and orange of Aluwani, and the green of TG were all prominent near the front as they kept the pace high. There were numerous attempts to prise open a decent gap and get a break going, but all the teams were weary of the dangers of letting strong riders get away. TG's Blaine Kick takes over from Alex Gutham of Kinetic Pro. Eventually, the relentless pace had the desired effect of thinning out the main peloton to around 30 strong riders. A few minutes after the men, the elite women were on the start line.
No pressure, how are you feeling?
I'm excited. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. It's a small field, but yeah, I'm excited to give it my all and race in good conditions here.
Yeah, you escaped early last year and it worked.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't the plan last year. I think I was just waking up my legs and then I was lucky and managed to get away. That was very early. It was a very long day.
A dozen women rolled away from the start. With no teams in the field, it was each for their own. Breen, in the colours of freewheel psychology from Cape Town, was in good form, having finished second at the SA Road Championships at Midvaal behind Carlo Oberholzer 2 weeks ago, and she won the individual time trial as well. Customized cycling local racer Kelsey van Schoor was likely to be a most serious threat to a third win. Back with the men's race, and TG Pro Cycling were doing a lot of the work on the front as they headed towards Old Seaview Road and Lakeside. A small gap had opened between a group of 5 and the main peloton. The first of 2 crossings over the busy N2 saw the main bunch holding the group of 5 in check at around 15 to 20 seconds up the road. They were around 40 kilometres into the race and charging towards the most southerly point at St Albans on Cape Road. Warren Mulman and Emil van Niekerk of TG and Weinand Hofmeyer in the blue for ASAP. There appeared to be no way anyone was going to get away today. So for the time being in the men's race, it was something of a stalemate, each team watching the other very closely. Meanwhile, in the women's race, a first show of intent from Hayley Preen. Kelsey van Schoor digs deep to match her. Juanita McKenzie of Action Cycle of intent from Hayley Preen. Kelsey van Schoor digs deep to match her. Juanita McKenzie of Action Cycles in third. But Van Schoor's day was soon to turn sour. A hand up indicating she had a mechanical issue, which turned out to be a malfunctioning electronic shifter. She would lose copious time and the chance to fight for a home win. Breen was out on her own now, taking the right-hander at speed. The 25-year-old from Hart Bay spent the last 2 years racing in Europe, but is hoping this year to take up an invitation to join the lucrative Lifetime Grand Prix Gravel Series in the United States. Evidence of Van Schoor's problems, a slack chain as she spun along, unable to shift gears and match the pace of her rivals. She managed to stay with the small group being led by McKenzie with Leila Schwellnus in third. Out front, Hayley Preen's advantage grew rapidly as she tapped out a steady tempo on her own. She was now over 2 minutes clear. Up the road, Kinetic's Jason Miller was being followed by Dutoy van den Berg and Daniel Williams-King as they turned away from Cape Road and headed for the second crossing of the N2. TSA Commissaire Dennis Human keeping an eye from the East Cape Motors Ford. Warren Mulman had a dart off the front, but ASAP's Williams King was not letting him go. A swing right in towards St Albans, and then a high-speed descent. They were dropping down towards the coast and the Maitlands region. The Maitlands climb is the king of the mountains. A small factor in the race, but an opportunity for a little pocket money and some bragging rights. And Realty Dynamics' Neil Rousseau took the bonus ahead of TEG's Jason Eggett. They were now on the coast at Seaview, around 65 kilometres into the race. Eggett of TEG and Rousseau of Realty Dynamics doing the heavy lifting for their teams. This was a crucial phase in the race through Sardinia Bay as the teams tried to set up their riders for the fast and flat run to the line to come. Kinetic Pro Cycling had moved riders up the line. ASAP and Blue were also prominent as they swung off Sardinia Bay Road and into Victoria Drive, which would lead them to Schoenmakers Korp and then on to Marine Drive. Hayley Preen was once again for the second year in a row on her own in the women's race at the Herald Cycle Tour. The chase was now down to 2 riders, Juanita McKenzie and Leila Schwellnus, after Kelsey van Schoor's issues got the better of her. Preen is heading to the African Championships in a few weeks' time, and in this form she could be a contender to bring home medals for South Africa. She hoovers up the Queen of the Mountains hotspot along the way. Schwellnus led McKenzie past the boisterous East Cape Motors water point at the top. Behind them were big bunches of riders competing in the various different age categories. Prominent among them the VA, VB and VC riders, the veterans from 30 up to the age of 45 years. Each of these groups is highly competitive. They're working men trying to put one over their friends and training partners. Wayne Bolton doing a big pull on the front of this train. He's riding to raise funds and awareness for rhino conservation through the One Land Love It initiative. A standout feature of the 2024 Herald Cycle Tour, Nelson Mandela Bay was blessed with a warm, sunny and still day, which made for happy cyclists all day long.
Quite nice, just on the maintenance hill, I start cramping up. And then I bonk out.
The Relay EMS Services water point catered for tired bodies and broken bikes, it seemed. The big bunch was charging along Marine Drive. Any one of a dozen riders could win it from here, including this man Nolan Hoffman, who was still in the bunch. Realty Dynamics, ASAP, Kinetic and TEG were well placed in the pace line as they passed Humewood. It was going to be a sprint finish. Realty Dynamics got their lead-out train in fine position and dropped off Hanru Geldenace to take a very impressive first win.
I don't think it's sunk in yet. It's going to take a while to embrace it, but I mean it's awesome moment. Yeah, definitely going to go down in my own little history book.
While Hanru and his teammates celebrated a big win, back on the road, riders were keeping a good pace in the perfect weather. Local residents came out to cheer them along the way. This was a day of real celebration of the sport of cycling in Nelson Mandela Bay. Rolling road closure, perfect weather and sensational sea views. This really is one of the most scenic races in the land. In the field were a select few who'd done more than 20 of the 38 that have been ridden, and those who reached double figures are rewarded with a permanent green number. With a gap to leader Preen too big to manage, Jonita McKenzie and Leila Schwellnus stepped up the gas a little bit to fight it out for second place. Up ahead, Hayley Breen was putting the finishing touches to another supreme ride and victory at the Herald Cycle Tour.
Pretty much had an identical race last year at about 15 kilometers, and I attacked and got away solo. The last 90 kilometers on my own. Had a comfortable lead and kind of just played around, and then went a bit harder and eased up a bit, and then I went harder for the last few kilometers again. Yeah, it was a good day out, beautiful course. I always loved racing here.
And why not? That's 3 wins in 4 years for Hayley Breen. Jonita McKenzie was second, Leila Schwellnus in third. Throughout the morning, riders came rolling home with smiles on their faces, having completed either the 106-kilometre Coastal Classic or the 55-kilometre Pursuit. And each had a story to tell.
I cramped up, so I didn't quite make the podium, but next year we're going to be there. I'll wait till the 3rd place, and then right at the end I'm just going to push it and then win.
It's been a fantastic day. I think, as you can see, the sun is shining. It's really just been, the weather gods were smiling on us today at Nelson Mandela Bay. Yesterday was a bit windy, so we were a bit worried. We know how that would affect some of the riders, but we had none of that today, so that was really awesome. We see that there's quite a few families that have come out to enjoy, the day and cheer on all the riders. Some of them, bringing extended family members to come out and support, and some fun stuff for the kids. So it's really been a great day.
Celebrations all round at the end of another highly successful Herald Cycle Tour in Nelson Mandela Bay. That's all from this week's edition of Toyota Cadence. Cheers till next week.